Very little. Are you good in English? I don't understand. I don't speak English.
I just go my land, and the other car just come here. We just half. I mean, we half.
Karanja.
Ni kumoto manzi. Wa Kenya. Hata tujongoja mapenzi ishe. Sasa hii tuko na scandal mpya. Ndio hii mwaka mapenzi itatupungia kwa heri na already tuko na scandal nyingine. Na hii scandal ni ya passport. Uchumi imepanda na nikadhani ni mimi peke yangu imekalia ngumu. Kumbe nilikuwa wrong. Kuna huyu Indian businessman amegeuza barabara ikakuwa yake. Yaani ukipita lazima ulipe. Na hii inafanyika pale Runda. Si tucheki video.
Another problem. This is riparian land. You have no right to construct here and block. You connect it to public land. Your people is there. You cannot from 6 meters from riparian land. You cannot privatize public resource. You can't. This is public resource. You can't.
Hii ndio inaitwa Audacity. So next kuna wase wameingililiwa. Hawa wase wameandikwa kazi na gava. So wametolewa from permanent employment to contract. Hebu tuone hii video.
Civil servants from permanent and pensionable terms to contract. Undio government. Wala hivi naonaka akigosh. Ama nani ndio akona shida guys. Inaweza kuwa are we the problem? Are we the Jina inakuwa a toxic relationship. We need to know who is the problem. From permanent and pensionable terms to contract. We mutaendaga hiyo kazi na shift. Yaani kama uliandikwa last year hii mwaka usirenew, watu wengine wanaandikwa utarenew. Anyway, one time drain that sum. Kindly follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Follow my backup account also. Papa's to register as a voter if you haven't. Na ninawapenda sana. By the way, my ex is also active right now, so follow me on X.
Hiyo ilikuwa by the way. So, situingie to our main business, history ya passport. Kuna kuangana hii msemi nasema, money can't buy happiness. Na kwa saa hii Kenya, money can buy everything. Pesa si ni tamu wewe. Situone hii video.
Chaji na manyonyo ni kama nchi yetu iliuziwa sijui ya kina nani. Juni mbaya. So kuna a diplomatic controversy. Umse yako kwa hii picha ya Standard. Algonei Hamdan Daglo Musa. Uni younger brother wa RSF commander Muhammad Hamdan Daglo. Na umse ako sanctioned na United States over alleged genocide pale vo Sudan. Weapons procurement, ana finance paramilitary. Unaona? Shughuli zingine tu genje pale vo Sudan. Ulicheki venye Sudan watu wali dead. Na umsenjo alleged finance. Unacheki. Ngori ni US records zinaonesha Algonei akona passport ya Kenya mtu wangu. Na si passport ya kawaida, diplomatic passport jo. Swali ni huyu militia alipataji passport ya Kenya? Wewe uko na zile maenzi ilikuwa ngumu sana kupata passport. Lakini kuna msee akona diplomatic passport ya Kenya jo. Mimi nakwambia jo ni mbaya. 2027 ifike.
Damage we are causing this jamhuri. It will take us ages to recover. Hii hapana joke, hii hapana mambo ya one term ama two term. This concerns every Mkenya.
Habari ndio hiyo na ni kumoto manze. So simuonizi story vile kunaenda. So guys, don't forget to support by subscribing.
Huyu Kasongo wakiwa na Kipchumba Murkomen, wakiwa na PS Belio Kipsang na yule Mrs. Chelagat, Director of Immigration, wanauza vitambulisho, wanauza passport kwa majambazi kutoka Sudan na kwingineko.
William Samoei Ruto si Kasongo. William Samoei Ruto ni Musa. Na sisi saa hii ni maana tu tunakula. Jana alisema aje level 4 ya hospitali hazitakuwa zinalipo. Nenda tu pale Mama Lucy, unaingia unatibiwa. Ukijaribu kuitishwa pesa na wapatia namba ya William Samoei Ruto ama ya Duale, mnapiga simu.
Bwana wewe. Songali
Wapi Uhuru akiwa president? Hiyo hesabu zote hiyo ni ukabila. Wacheni na hizo mambo ya ukabila. Kama William Samoei Ruto mumsupport sababu yeye ako na kabila tofauti na nyinyi, hapo ndio mnyindo mnarudisha Kenya. Sisi tuna support William Samoei Ruto. Hizo president simbusha ndugu zetu, mkumbuke sababu sisi tuna support William Samoei Ruto ni sababu ya equality. Na ukiuliza watu wa one term kuhusu equality wananyamaza. Equality ni ile serikali ingine ilikuwa inatengeneza barabara Kenya mzima. Hiyo ndio equality. Umeelewa?
The Rapid Support Force, the RSF, led by Mohamed Hamdan Dagalo. Where do we draw the line? Because our passport is going to become a geopolitical liability. And our government doesn't understand this. Our government doesn't understand that this is not just a traveling document. This is our whole country's reputation. This document is representing 55 million Kenyans. So when this loses integrity, when this loses trust and is weakened, the whole country is losing integrity. In 1996, the government of the UK imposed visa requirements for the Kenyan passport holders. What was the concerns back then? What was the issue? It was the same issue. Concerns about our passport integrity. Because that time people were buying the Kenyan passport. It was so easy to buy the Kenyan passport and use it for asylum, to seek asylum. So see, the same things are happening. History is remembering what happened. And when this document loses trust, it becomes weak. Our document becomes weak. Look what happened until today. It has affected the strength of this document. And this is how we rank globally. When systems fail, the ordinary Kenyan pays the price. We, the citizens, pays the price. Remember back in Moi era, when Kenya faced international tough scrutiny over the same passport fraud networks during the regional instability. You remember that time? And countries like UK, Ireland, and others, they tightened their visa rules against our passport. See, the consequences are always felt by the ordinary Kenyan because we are the people who face travel restrictions to these countries. It's very hard because of our passport ranking and integrity issues. The Rapid Support Force, the RSF, led by Mohamed Hamdan Dagalo, a US sanctions listing by the United States Department of the Treasury, includes a Kenyan passport among the identification documents of an RSF-linked individual. Let me bring you closer to Nairobi. Remember February 2025, when the RSF had an affiliated meeting in Nairobi, Bomas of Kenya. It was facilitated by who? Your favorite President William Samoei Ruto. He gave them access. He met the RSF leader, both in State House, in private closed doors. What was the charter for this RSF holding the affiliated meeting in Nairobi? They said, we want a parallel government. We want a parallel government for peace and unity. Peace and unity. Can you imagine RSF being accused of all the murder, massacre, displacement of Sudan people, and we are hosting them to form a parallel government for peace and unity. And we are comfortable about that. To make the matter worse, we facilitate them with a Kenyan traveling document, Kenyan integrity. That time we had a fallout with a diplomatic fallout with the Sudan government because the main government of Sudan recalled its ambassador. Why are we forgetting this? We listen, but we judge. Because we judged the former deputy Rigathi Gashagua when he raised the same concerns. We called him the tribal man. We called him the tribal person. But what does tribe has to do with matters national security? What does tribe has to do with matters national integrity? Haven't you seen even the investigative group Bellingcat analyzed the whole Sudan conflict and linked its entire trade routes with Kenya? But kama kawaida, the Ruto's administration, they are always denying providing logistical support. They are denying providing logistical support. Because how, again, if these persons are being sanctioned by the United States and other countries, how can they manage to travel? They need the Kenyan passport. That's how easy we make it possible for them. Even though we know that this group, we know what this group is doing, but does the government care? What is that leaving the whole country's integrity? So it's becoming a burden for the Kenyan, ordinary Kenyan. Because these people, they give themselves diplomatic passports, and we hold the ordinary passports. So we are the people facing restrictions out there. Foreign policies, they are not about friendship. It's about national interest. It's about the interest of 55 million Kenyans. So if Kenya is being perceived as a neutral ground for these sanctioned actors, Akina Hemedi's younger brother, and all the other sanctioned people who are committing atrocities, and then we provide for them a safe haven, a safe ground for them to stay, we provide them traveling documents that has zero restrictions. What is the long-term cost? The long-term cost is going to be paid by the ordinary Kenyans. And it's going to cost our reputation, the reputation of 55 million Kenyans. Take you back in 1996, same thing happened in Moi era. And we have seen what happens when passport integrity declines. How many people are affected today? How many Kenyans have been affected trying to get visas for even simple countries where their families are? They cannot be given visas. This is the long-term repercussions. This is the long-term repercussions. This is the long-term cost that is going to be bared by the ordinary Kenyan. This passport represents over 50 million Kenyans. It represents our identity out there. It represents our reputation. It represents our sovereignty. So it must never become controversial. We must protect our sovereignty. Governments come and change. We saw Kenyatta. We saw Moi and he left. Kibaki, Uhuru, and now we have Ruto and he will leave. He will go. But a damage to reputation will take ordinary Kenyans decades to repair. While these people, they have enough to just disappear. And we are left with a broken country, a document that is full of integrity issues, and Kenyans that has a lot of traveling restrictions. We must never allow this document to become controversial. This is our sovereignty, and we must protect it.